What's up, guys? I'm Danny,
I'm Brian.
and we're here with Tsunami Tuning, and we're gonna be discussing the current state of the Japanese car market in the US, right? Like the last thing before everything goes EV and we don't get any more engines, right? So let's see. We can start here with the largest company by market share, Toyota. What do you think about Toyota, Brian? What do you think?
I there's so much to unfold with Toyota.
Hmm.
Both in like the consumer, like general market, and what they're doing in like shows and more experimental things. In the consumer side of things, like there's the GR division with the
Yeah,
Corolla, the Supra, the 86. I think it's really exciting how like they actually have a sports car that's more affordable. The 86, and then the more, I guess, like Halo-ish car like the Supra.
for sure. Yeah,
And Coral in the mix, yeah, yeah. I think those are all very exciting, and no, there hasn't been many negative things. Yeah, I think
I'm.
that's the way to word it. Yeah, it's just like for example, like I heard the Corolla's like blowing pistons, but it's like, what do you expect when you have like a high performance, high compression, 3-cylinder engine pumping out more horsepower than most 4-cylinder engines?
True. You're very right. That's a
Yeah,
very small engine with a lot of power.
yeah, and like they have the Yaris in Japan, of course, and that's also pretty
And
exciting.
right, and too bad we didn't get that. But well, while you talk about the sports cars, right, let us not forget about the general market and the cool car, the Prius, right?
Oh man.
The the Prius has a lot of power, and a lot of people are saying it's real pretty now, and I like it. I think it looks like a computer mouse, and I love it. So what
I
do you
mean,
think,
yeah, no, I love it too. Definitely, like the headlights, they're like
dude?
definitely a strong point of it nowadays. No,
I think so. I mean, the whole car. I mean, it's a Prius, but just evolved, you know?
definitely like what I hope the future of EVs will be.
For
Definitely. Oh,
sure.
that also reminds me, their BEV line, the battery electric vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean they're killing it on the sports cars, they're killing it on the consumer cars and even the EV market. I mean, Toyotas. I think they're S tier, man. I mean, alongside with Lexus and then rumors of the LFA. I
Oh
think
yeah,
S tier instantly, right?
yeah. I mean, it's not just about what they're doing right now; it's their legacy in general.
That
Kind of
is
hard
true.
to, kind of hard to say nothing like anything bad about it. Yeah.
It's hard to be. I mean, I think you mentioned something about the we were talking about the Tokyo Auto Salon. Did you want to say something about that?
I mean, yeah, yeah. Just like I thought it was really cool how they like converted a car to hydrogen as
Uh-huh.
well. The original AE86. Yeah, yeah. They had I think they had 11 in the Treno there. One of them was an EV, and the other one was hydrogen. And I thought it was interesting. They actually kept like a standard transmission in there. They didn't like have like an automatic or like a sequential. No, they just kept it like
I
how you're
dude,
supposed to drive it,
I
I guess.
they're pleasing the car guys. They're pleasing us, the enthusiasts
Yeah.
out here. You know, I personally don't think there's much of a point with the standard transmission for an EV, but it's cool that they're thinking about us nonetheless. You know, but I think we can both agree S tier. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I think so. I mean, we can always move things around later. Yeah.
All right, cool. So let's move on to the second manufacturer by market share. We'll go Honda here. Honda and Acura. So
Man.
let's talk about the Type R. I mean, that's their new Halo car, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard. So the new Type R, I haven't seen many on the street because they're supposed to be keeping it more exclusive, I guess. In a way, I
Yeah,
felt like the last generation, the 10th, and there's just a lot more on the road. Definitely is. I think it's just they're just pumping out numbers on that other Type R.
I mean, yeah, dude, they were expensive, but they made them money. But the new one, the what 11th gen, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I it's I haven't seen one on the road yet, actually, but I it's definitely a more toned down looking car.
But yeah, the performance is actually higher, and I think they've actually geared it more towards like car enthusiasts are gonna be taken out. Like on the 10th gen, they had like a lap tracker essentially, but
Yeah,
you have to download that on a phone to
right.
actually get the benefit off of that. Like, who's gonna want to whip out their phone to check their lap time while like on the track? I'm
True.
pretty happy that in the 11th gen they integrated it as a standalone function in the car.
There's upgrades. There's definitely upgrades.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. I
Well,
mean,
I think the Type R is a win, honestly. Yeah. What about their Acura branch, the NSX? I mean, I know it's a little bit slightly older now. They just came out with the Type S a little while ago. I think it's cool, but I think it's way too expensive.
yeah. I mean, it just seems kind of outshined by other cars in their like price range specifically.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good car. Sure.
No, it's a lot of car, but dude, around that price range, I see why people didn't buy the new NSX when it came out a couple years ago, but man, I like it. I like the way both the new NSX and then the Type S. I like the way both of them look, but I understand why people really just why it really didn't sell as much as it could have.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Okay, I'm a little biased. I'm a big fan of the 10th gen Accords, the Sport.
Right, right.
Yeah, you can get it in a manual or you can get a 10-speed automatic, and those things can make crazy power.
Yeah,
You
they
just with just a
pull.
simple tune, yeah, and they're comfortable, and all that. I think they're sleek.
Talking
But
about the cord, right?
but the 11th gen, the Sport only comes in a hybrid. It's only pushing 200-ish power from factory.
Dang, that's like Loki a little bit of a downgrade, no?
I mean,
I
I
feel
think for the Accord, it's just like more based on comfort. It's not about the
right.
power first and foremost.
Yeah, definitely. I think just maybe performance from the performance perspective, it's a downgrade. But I guess as an Accord and what an Accord is meant to do, then yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Is upgrade for consumer car makes sense. Well, while we talk about the Accord here, let's talk about another legendary name that they're bringing back essentially the Integra and then the Type S version, right?
Oh
Because
yeah,
that was
I
confirmed.
heard the Type S is supposed to be like a formidable performance car, but I have not seen anyone talk about the new Integral like since its release. Like
I think I've seen one on the road, and it was
one?
street parked and abused already as a
What?
brand new car. Yeah, yeah, like with scratches and like sitting in the dust just on the side of the road, and I was like, dude, it's just it feels like another TLX or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm feeling like maybe the Type S will reinvigorate the name, but dude, I feel like the original or the newly introduced Integra, a little bit of a flop for me, dude.
Do you want to slot it in like oh
I think
A?
I think yeah, like mid low A. I mean, I think Honda as a whole is pretty exciting still. I mean, the Type R is awesome. Even Civic SIs are always cool, but I don't think it's like, that exciting. It's good. Uh, I would be fine with A or B, but you're calling
Put
this
a
one, man.
B in
Yeah,
for
I'm cool with
now.
that. We
I
can
don't
move
know.
things around. Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah.
I'll put A. Fuck it.
All right. Honda it is. Okay, and then the next manufacturer we'll be moving on to is Nissan Infinity. So I'm a little biased here. I am a Z enjoyer myself. You know, Nissan, I have a love-hate relationship with. The Z, I own one myself, and now with the new Z, it has its ups and downs, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what do you think about the looks itself?
I like how it like brings homage. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Homage, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. To like the previous gens of the Z as well. Taking cues from even as early as the Datsun 240s.
yeah.
All the way up. But I I've only heard I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about it, where like because of the new twin turbo system and everything, like it's heavier in the front. It doesn't really like handle as well. And it's also based on the 370 chassis, so people are like kind of iffy about that.
Because
But what do you think, as a GZ man yourself?
it's very bittersweet. Because if you own a 370 or a 350, there's a lot of common issues with the cars, especially the slave cylinder issue with the 370. And Nissan took note of that, and they took action, right? They made the slave cylinder external instead of internal, so you can really upgrade and fix it a lot better. But I understand the car does make more power. It's a lot more power actually, but personally, I feel like it's a good upgrade, but it's not. It doesn't warrant the $50,000-$60,000 price range. That's a lot of money for essentially what I would like to say not that much car. Like it's a good car, just not for that type of money, you know?
Man,
Like
I thought I would be saying that about the GTR. I'm surprised I'm hearing that about the new Z. Because
I
the
see.
GTR face is literally like another facelift of the same exact car, basically.
Yeah.
Like
It's kind of like a reoccurring theme with Nissan with both of their, the big Halo car and then the mini Halo car. It's like, yeah, we're happy we got a new Z. I'm definitely happy. I haven't seen one personally on the road yet. I've seen them at events and stuff, but it's a good car, right? Like I definitely say, the Z is a good car for what it is. A little pricey and, uses a little too many of the same parts of the previous generation, but it's fine. It's cool. The GTR, dude, this what is this? Like the third facelift here, and
yeah.
the price has increased dramatically. I think the only thing that's even cool about the Nismo GTR anymore are essentially the new.
Wait, sorry, you cut out. What did you say?
What do you think? I said the carbon seats are pretty much the only cool thing about the new facelift
Oh
on
yeah,
the
yeah,
on the
yeah. No,
Nismo, right?
those are crazy. High key.
Yeah, I love those seats, but other than that, I feel like it's just the same car.
And on the consumer
For
side of things, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but they like the CVT issues still like plague like the actual like commuter Nissans. No, like
That is true. I remember I knew someone in the past where they had I believe it was a Nissan Leaf. No, no, it was a Sentra, right? It was a
uh-huh.
Sentra, and they had the CVT in it, and that thing blew up at 30K.
30K.
30K miles. That thing blew up,
That's
and the
so
person
unreliable.
they bought it brand new from the dealership, rolled off the lot, no
Mhm.
problem. But 30K in, the transmission blew, and that was a big fix.
Yikes.
So, typical Nissan slander. It's automatic transmission things, but uh where would you place Nissan? I like the new stuff they're coming out with. The Z's exciting, but if you really look at it, they're coming out with a whole new line of cars too, and with the Aria and a bunch of EVs and all that stuff. So they're definitely trying to move past that infamous CVT era. So I like their new modern cars. They have a lot of technology, but I definitely have to see something with their Halo car to make me feel excited again. Right? Because you're not going to excite me with some cool SUVs, I guess.
Oh.
So what do you think? I'm thinking B, honestly.
E?
Yeah, I think B because they're doing good, but they're not excellent, but they're not like terrible either. Because I mean, the GTR is still a great car. It's just same theme. It's just too expensive for the amount of car you're getting. Because I think the base GTR is like 100 some now, like low hundreds, and then the Nismo is pushing to something, right? It's crazy for that amount of money. You can get more car elsewhere.
Yeah.
All right, I'm cool with B for that. All right, and then let's look towards. Ooh, this is your baby here. Let's look at Subaru.
Oh. Super, super. All right, so for context, I drive a WRX, a VA, and one of my best friends also drives a VA, but it's an STI. I have a WRX. So I guess like in that department, I am more biased. Um, man, I guess what everyone's talking about in terms of Subaru, the new VB, no?
That's
Okay,
like, yeah.
I gotta give props to the engine, the FA24. Okay, so the big problem with the FA20 is you can't really tune it. You bring it up like just a teeny amount of horsepower more, and then you're scared you're gonna blow it up. You know? But like everyone is stress testing the VB, The F824, like they're making some crazy power out of it with like stock internal still intact. You know, you don't have to worry about it blowing up at 350 horsepower anymore. That's
Right.
great. It's just like the looks of it is definitely something that people will have to like grow onto. Like it's still kind of growing on me. I still prefer the V8 and looks like one like 10 out of 10, but yeah, it definitely took me some time to like look at it and like actually think, oh, you know, it's just not that bad, you know. Just I did not enjoy the what's it called, the plastic fender lining that the like that more like outdoorsy cars have, you know. It
Yeah,
just
like
makes it
they're
look kind of cheap.
personally, I think it's not too bad looking, to be honest. I know it's controversial and everyone says the rear bumper's weird and then the fenders are weird, but honestly, it the car itself, the look of it, it matches Subaru's philosophy. Of course, I am always, your chassis is probably one of the best looking ones in the entire lineup, right? Like I love that car. I love your car. I love our friends' cars and all that. But the new one, it's not that bad. I feel like people are being a little bit dramatic, especially since you mentioned like, the tuning potential. It's a good car. It's a good engine. It's a good car. And I'm sure it drives pretty well. I mean, Subarus drive, pretty comfortably, pretty sporty overall anyways. So personally, I think the new chassis is fine. And even though they announced that they're not doing an STI and then they're starting to try to do STEs with electronics and all that, it's like for what the WRX is, honestly, especially in the context of how we're talking the last push before all EVs, the WRX isn't bad. Yeah, I think Subaru, like, because they yeah, I get it. I would like irk them for getting rid of the STI, but I feel like they're doing pretty good so far.
I mean, we can't forget to mention the BRZ as well. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right, yeah, it's
yeah,
I mean, that's a partnership, and plus they're taking their own twist on that car, and it's popular. I think that car looks awesome.
I'm kind of glad that Subaru and Toyota have a bit more of an identity with the new generation, rather than
For sure,
having
over the
like
GT. Yeah.
almost yeah, almost having the exact same car back then.
True. Yeah, like they take their own, spin on it, a little bit of body kit, a little bit of suspension here and there. Which one do you like more? Do you like the GR86 or do you like the BRZ, the new one?
Oh, it's okay. I don't know about you. I honestly haven't seen the BRZ as much as the GR86 on the road personally.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really make too much of a comment on it.
Okay. I think because like the 86 is more sporty and aggressive front end.
Oh
I think
yeah,
that's
no,
the
I
reason
agree
why
with
it's more
that.
popular. But just personal preference, I like the BRZ more. It's just more like a little bit of a happier car. Reminds me of better times, you know what I'm saying? Reminds me of just a happier car, and it's still, just as sporty. But I prefer the Subaru more than the 86. Even though I love Toyota, you know that. But just the 86 just it doesn't hit the sweet spot for me. But I'm thinking Subaru on A tier. I mean, they're affordable sports cars killing it. And then the WRX, I like it. I don't know exactly how sales are, but I like it. And tuning potential is awesome. So I think they're pushing A tier here, honestly. And they're not doing anything too crazy. Oh, obviously they got rid of the STI, but they're planning to make up for that in the future generations.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
the
think A tier.
STE, or
Yeah,
they
and
have it trademarked at least. That doesn't imply that they're gonna do anything just yet.
yeah, but it's definitely a possibility. I mean, maybe a hybrid STI with like a ton of power with a lot more reliability. That'd be pretty cool, you know?
I mean, in terms of rallycross, oh, what was that car called again? Let me pull it up real quick.
All right.
It was
Let's
called the FC1X. It's like
FC1X.
1,000 horsepower, fully electric, like rallycross car that Subaru built.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and like they're not. They say they're not trying to greenwash the sport of rallycross, but rather they're trying to push power as much as possible. And because the rally course is like a little shorter, they have
Yeah.
times between the rounds to actually charge up the cars again. So it's like they're using the shorter like lap times as an advantage actually as to justify the reason why they're trying to push towards electric vehicles, aka the new Group E. But it feels mostly like untreaded waters. It's kind of too
for
soon to
sure.
say.
But
But it looks like it's performing well on the Nitro Cup. Yeah,
and if they're performing well, hopefully we can trickle down some technology out there and get a nice WRX STE maybe.
I
And
mean,
that'd be sick.
I don't think there's any rumors.
No rumors, but fingers crossed. I'm not a Subaru guy, but that would be pretty cool.
I kind of want
I
to.
think A tier,
I
dude.
want
What
to
do you think?
slot it in like. I feel like it's. I mean, it's only because of bias that I want to place it higher than Honda, but at the same time, like objectively, is it really?
I think
I mean,
Honda's doing better, dude.
on the consumer side of things, Subaru's like all about the safety rating and everything.
True, they and the outdoorsiness and
Oh
with
yeah,
their
the
foresters and
wilderness
all
trail,
that. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I think that's definitely good, but I do not think that beats Civic and Accord
really.
because those are just too popular.
Yeah, no,
Even
who like no one's talking about a base model Impreza, you know? Yeah, that
exactly,
kind of.
no one's gonna be like, oh, I want to buy an Impreza, but then like most people are like, oh yeah, let me just get a Civic. It's I don't have to think about it. I just get a Civic. It saves gas. It drives good. It's comfortable. So I think just below Honda
Hmm.
and above Nissan for this one.
I guess I'll just slot it like that because most people see like the
Yeah.
left most is the best.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with just above Nissan. Oh, I love Nissan, but they need to step up their game. I know their new lineup's good, but dude, you're killing me out here, Nissan.
Mhm.
All right. So, we're looking to move on to Mazda here. I know you got some stuff to say about Mazda.
Oh man. Okay, I've been m- more like I guess looking into electric vehicles recently, and the MX-30 that thing was a flop. Like I get it, it's a very niche application for a niche set of people. Like specifically, like it's supposed to attract like I think people in California specifically like where electric vehicles
Really?
are like highly like supported.
Yeah, like with the
Because like
grid and
it's like a 90-mile like tank essentially.
that's nothing.
Yeah. Like
90
it's
miles?
definitely
Like
meant for the city, like with the smaller battery and everything like that.
for sure, for sure.
But even then, I think the sales are single digits across this entire year so far.
That is
Like in the
depressing.
month of March, like they only sold, I want to say, I think four or six cars.
Dude.
They are not moving at all. That's crazy.
Yeah, Mazda not as exciting as they used to be,
Yeah,
during the golden era and all that. I know they have the Miata and they released the ND years back, but personally, I don't think anything excites me about Mazda.
I mean they're trying to step up their SUV game, but
I think it's working. Their SUVs are pretty nice now, actually. I mean, they're definitely a viable competitor. They're comfortable, they're large, but they're a business. They're in it to make money, right? And SUVs are just what's hot right now. That's just what
definitely,
everyone likes. So
yeah.
I can't blame them for pushing into the SUV scene, but it's just as an enthusiast, it hurts my heart to know my only option for a new Mazda is a Miata,
Mhm.
and with the talks and rumors about them bringing back the rotary got me so excited until they told everyone they're putting it into an SUV.
Yay.
Dude, that broke my heart, but man, Mazda is just not as exciting, man. I can't say one thing that really just like, oh, I love Mazda. I have to go. Like the only thing that's exciting about them is their history, and that's kind of it for me. I don't really see anything crazy in their current market share. I mean, their SUVs, their sedans, some selling well, some not. It's just there's nothing cool about them anymore, man. I feel I love Mazda, but they're not hitting the sweet spot anymore.
We'll just slot them into C, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't put them D because they definitely care about their customers. I mean, I think I read up something about like the recent disasters, the storms in the South and Midwest. I mean, Mazda was helping people out. They were deferring loans, they're letting people pay later. So, I mean, they're trying and they're definitely going into it to, save the reputation and really I feel like they're shifting their whole thing away from enthusiast cars and sports cars and really just SUVs, man. That's what's hot in America, so that's what they got to do. Well, maybe hopefully one day we'll get a rotary sports car. I know it's not realistic because of the EV wave, but I will always have my fingers crossed in my heart for Mazda. All right. Well,
And then there's
so
Mitsubishi.
and then there's Mitsubishi. You're right. They got cool stuff in Japan. I think they're coming out with the Mini Delica.
Oh
It's a
yeah, like
weird SUV K car, I think. Something like that. But we're not getting it here, so it's not important. They always get the cool stuff. We never get anything over here. But dude, I heard they pulled out a bit ago. They pulled out of American production, so no more production of Mitsubishis in America itself. That's tough, man. Mitsubishi's been struggling. They're trying to do SUVs, but I mean, I think they're all right. What do you think?
when was the last time you heard people talk about, oh yeah, I want to get like a Mitsubishi Mirage?
Okay, you're right. No one says, "Oh, I want to buy a Mitsubishi." I think it's honestly because they're just not putting as much resources or effort into their car branch. I mean, Mitsubishi makes a lot of other products. I mean, I remember as a kid, I was looking through a photo album and I noticed that the photo paper itself, the glossy paper, that was made by Mitsubishi. So they make a lot of other products. I think it's just their car market. It had its blaze, in the golden era, a little bit beyond, and then they just kind of pulled out of it because that's just not making money anymore. And at the end of the day, they're just a business, right? They're just not exciting anymore, man. Like I guess same issue with Mazda. No Halo car, really. Nothing to excite the customer base. And then not like where Toyota and Honda have, where they have awesome commuter cars and all that. It's just their cars are okay. And I don't think okay is a good way to describe your cars.
We're gonna slot them right next to Mazda, essentially.
Dude, I mean Mazda still has the Miata though. So I think D tier, dude. As much as I love Evos and Eclipses and Gallants and Starions, that's the past now, man. We're talking about present day. I think D tier, bro. I love
Tough.
Mitsubishi, but it's just not it anymore. What do you think?
Guess this kind of finalizes it, huh?
Yeah, I mean, if we go through it, Toyota's been killing it, man. Honda's been doing pretty good. Subaru's a little controversial. I wouldn't be mad if you put it in B tier, to be
Yeah,
honest.
right. I don't.
You
It's like this, maybe.
think it's like that? Ah, my
I don't
heart
know,
hurts.
but then I can't really say that because then the Newsy is definitely a lot harder than the WRX. Like
True, the
I
new Z is
guess
pretty hot.
how I view it from the general population's perspective. Yeah,
I guess. I think it's just personally for me. I think Subaru wins out over Nissan because of the non-sports car section. But hey, who knows? Nissan's coming out with a lot of new cars and their logo rebrand, the cool new logo design. So they're coming up with a lot of stuff. We just got to give it some time to see. But I think this is probably the finalized tier list. Yeah? All right then. Well, I think that concludes our tier list. We got Toyota at the top and Mitsubishi at the bottom. All right. So thanks for watching, everyone. I appreciate y'all stopping by, listening to us talk about our cars and all the pains of being an enthusiast. Hopefully, in the future, they step up their game, especially Mitsubishi. But yeah, remember to subscribe, everyone, and follow up on our social medias. We have Instagram, we have TikTok. Just follow us up, and then we'll make some more videos for everyone.
everything will be in the description. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.